Let's be real. Training during Ramadan can feel like a complete guessing game for any athlete, right? Do you go all out? Do you pull back? Well, what if you could swap all that uncertainty for a clear, data-driven plan? In this guide, we're going to show you exactly how to do that and turn the challenges of fasting into your own strategic advantage.
This right here, this simple idea, is the bedrock of everything we're about to cover. What gets measured gets managed. And trust me, during a month as demanding as Ramadan, this isn't just some catchy phrase. It's your secret weapon for not just getting through it, but actually thriving. So on the screen, you can see two very different stories playing out. On one side, you've got the athlete who's just winging it. They're guessing their calories, they're probably dehydrated, and, their performance is going to suffer. But on the other side, you have the athlete with a plan. They're making smart calls based on real data, staying fueled, and actually seeing progress. It's literally the difference between just hoping for the best and engineering your own success. Okay, so what's the game plan? First, we're going to look the real challenge of Ramadan straight in the eye. Then, we'll get into the good stuff, your personal numbers, which are basically the code to your success. After that, we'll build a super simple daily tracking plan, and finally, we'll see how data becomes your most powerful ally all month long.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the Ramadan Challenge. The whole point here is to flip the script, to stop seeing this month as a bunch of obstacles and start seeing it as a set of variables that we can absolutely control with the right information.
Now here's a real game-changing idea. The biggest challenge isn't actually the fasting itself, it's the lack of solid objective data. We've all been there, right? You feel totally drained, you want to skip your workout, but what if your data showed you were perfectly hydrated and you'd hit all your calorie targets? See? That's the power of relying on facts, not just how you feel in the moment.
So if data is the answer, where in the world do we get it? Well, that brings us right to Section 2, your personal numbers. This is where we stop guessing and start calculating the exact code that's going to unlock your performance this month.
Calculating your calorie needs sounds way more complicated than it is, I promise. First, we just figure out your baseline, how much energy you burn just being you. Then, we factor in how active you are. And here's the really important part for Ramadan. We adjust that number down by about 7%. Now, why do we do that? It's because your body is incredibly smart. It actually becomes more efficient when you're fasting, so your energy needs drop a little. This isn't about restriction, it's all about precision.
But listen, your total calorie number, that's only half the story. The kind of calories you eat is just as important. And that's where your macronutrients come in. You've got protein for muscle repair, carbs for fuel, and healthy lipids or fats for hormone function. Nailing this balance is the real key to feeling and performing at your absolute best.
So what does that balance look like in the real world? Well, for an athlete who needs about 2,500 calories, we're aiming for something like 45% from carbs, 25% from protein, and 30% from healthy fats. Now, this isn't some super rigid rule you have to follow perfectly, but it's an amazing starting point for optimizing your energy and recovery.
Okay, next up is hydration. And this one is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. A really simple place to start is to multiply your weight in kilograms by 35 milliliters. But you have to remember that's just your baseline on a rest day. If you're training hard or you live somewhere hot, that number has to go up, like way up.
3.9 liters. Let that sink in for a minute. That's the daily target for a 75-kilogram athlete who's training in a warm climate. I mean, think about that. It is a huge amount of water, and you have to get it all in during that short window between iftar and suhoor. This really drives home why just hoping you drink enough isn't a strategy.
Okay, so we've done the math, we've got our key numbers for calories, macros, and hydration. But what good are they if we don't actually use them, right? And that's exactly what Section 3 is all about, the daily tracking plan. We're about to turn these numbers into a simple daily action plan.
All right, I know what you might be thinking right now. This sounds like a lot of work. How am I supposed to track all of this every single day without getting totally bogged down? I get it. The good news is the solution is way simpler than you think.
The key is to forget about tracking 100 different things. Just forget it. Instead, you focus on these 5 pillars of your performance: sleep, nutrition, so your macros and calories, your training performance, your mood, and your hydration. Seriously, that's it. By just tracking these 5 things, you get all the insight you need without all the overwhelm.
And to make that nutrition part even easier, you can use reference tables. Think of them like cheat sheets that just take all the guesswork out of planning your meals.
Instead of weighing every single little thing, they'll show you exactly how much of a certain food you need to hit your targets. It is a massive time saver.
So for example, let's say you need 30 grams of protein for your iftar meal. Well, you've got options. You could get that from about 120 grams of chicken, or 5 eggs, or even 300 grams of cooked lentils if you're plant-based. It makes hitting your targets so much more flexible and, honestly, just simple.
So now that we have a plan to collect all this amazing data, let's talk about the most powerful part of this whole process. And that brings us to our final section, data, your ally. This is where we learn to trust the numbers over our often pretty unreliable emotions. If you remember one single thing from all of this, let it be this: numbers don't lie, emotions do. On those really tough days when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left in the tank, your data can be the objective proof you need that you are fueled, you are hydrated, and you are ready to go. It's the ultimate confidence booster.
That tracking journal of yours becomes so much more than just a bunch of numbers. It's the story of your hard work and your discipline, written down day by day. And when your motivation takes a dip, you can look back at that log and see a concrete record of your commitment. It's such a powerful reminder of what you're capable of, even on the days you don't feel like. So, the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready to take control? Are you ready to swap guesswork for precision and make this your most successful Ramadan yet? The tools are all right here, in your hands. Now it's your turn to go make it happen.